meticulous, functional, and even beautiful. I see the glory of the machine god writ into each component by your careful and deferential hand.
Thank you, Majos. I am but a conduit for the Omnissiah's blessings.
Quite so. As for you, Thustra, your work is satisfactory. But you fall short of the greatness of which I know you are capable. The device is functional, and you clearly have no small amount of skill. But your work lacks patience. As I remove the casing thus, I find little care and deference in the internal workings.
Forgive me, Majos, but I do not see the issue. You said yourself that the device is functional, and the final form factor is consistent with your designs and specifications. The arrangement of internal components has no bearing on the device's performance. In ignoring such extraneous activities, I achieved an efficiency in my task of 8.24% greater than that of Acolyte Aster's.
Your definition of functionality falls short of the perfection embodied by the machine Acolyte. A job half done is a job undone. Each act of creation, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is an act of worship and should be afforded care and attention accordingly. The priesthood keeps us on the righteous path, and deviation will only lead to ruin.
Majos, perhaps if Acolyte Thustra and I were to work together on a project, we could...
Majos, I find conflict between your words and your actions. I understand that the priesthood's edicts exist for a reason, but is it not right for those who are capable to act outside of those rules for the betterment of all? You yourself maintain a collection of Xenos artifacts within your workshop that would ordinarily be forbidden.
Are you so full of your own self-importance, Acolyte, that not only do you talk back to me, but you dare to question my own dedication to the glory of the machine god and the priesthood that furthers its glory?
No, Majos, I only mean
The
that...
Xenos artifacts to which you refer were placed in my charge by the Archmagos himself. To query their secrets is to sully my very soul. But it is a cost I bear willingly, for I am a small component within the great machine, and this is the task to which I was appointed. Every time I touch those forsaken items, I purge myself through rituals of purification and rededication, just so that I may remain true to the Omnissiah. So do not dare to draw equivalence between my burden and your callous laziness, Acolyte Thustra.
Apologies, Majos. I see that I have made a grave error, and I humbly ask for your forgiveness.
And in time, you may yet have it. Once you prove to me your worth, now be gone, both of you.
Yes, Majos. Thank you, Majos. small component indeed. A small component for a small, simple mind. Is my genius really to be stymied just to appease the egos of the ancient and the outmoded? Must I toil? Ah, and what esteemed wisdom do you traipse through my door, Aster?
Thustra, my friend, I had hoped we might work together on our next task. The machine god helps those who would help each other, after all.
You mean you've come to further lecture me on my shortcomings?
I had hoped to discuss the Magos' admonishment with you, yes. I believe his words were severe, but they were not without merit. Thustra, your work is technically flawless. There are few who can match your proficiency, myself included, but creation is as much an act of faith as it is an exercise in precision. You do not show the same diligence in that regard.
Tiresome, Aster. Your dull regurgitation of the Magos' words provides nothing beyond a stroke for your ego. You both speak to me as though I am a novice in the mysteries of the machine, but it is you, Aster, you and that shambling self-important mound of mediocrity we call a Magos, who are the ones with no appreciation of faith. The machine god, the Omnissiah, cares not for your pageantry and gaudy trinkets. Efficiency, precision, efficacy. These are the articles of our faith. I do not waste my time with the performative nonsense you prize so highly, and so I am penalized. I am hampered by lesser minds because they refuse to recognize my genius.
Well, Acolyte Thustra, I thank you for your candor. Should you need me, I will be in my workshop.
Worthless! You're all worthless! And yet, it is I who am admonished and held back. Where is the justice in that, I ask? No justice, save for that justice which I fabricate myself. The Magos is a fool, but it is my cohort Aster who is the true malignancy. His preening sycophancy casts an ill light on my superiority. But without him, perhaps there would be room enough for my genius to shine all the brighter. Yes, the Magos has not the wit to appraise my brilliance objectively. It is Aster and his muling attempts to curry favor at my expense where we find the root of this problem. He must be exposed and disposed. He is too fawning in his eagerness to please, and so I must force the issue myself. The Magos' collection of Xenos artifacts. Perhaps if I were to... Yes, that would do nicely.
I believe my chronometer is malfunctioning. I can scarcely believe that the time for my appraisal of your work is here again. Acolyte Thustra, I should like to begin with your efforts. Remove the casing of your artifice so that I may inspect your reverence to the Omnissiah.
Affirmative, Magos.
The binaric rite of ingress. It would seem some of my lessons may not have fallen on inactive audio receptors after all, Acolyte.
Yes, Magos. I strive for illumination in the light of the Omnissiah, and I see now that I was blind to that path. I thank you for your corrections.
I register pleasure at this admission. Your work shows similar devotion. The technical prowess you exhibited previously remains, but the machine spirit exults in the care you have taken. Well done, Acolyte Thustra. Now, Aster, it seems you finally have some true competition. Let us see your work.
Of course, Majos.
Ah, yes. Fine work as ever, Aster. I see where you... This conduit is not on the scheme. Have you been seeking to improve my designs, Acolyte?
No, Majos, I wouldn't.
It is of no matter. I am not so proud that I will refuse iteration and improvement on my designs from others. Let me see where this conduit leads, so that I may better understand. By the Omnissiah! What is the meaning of this heresy, Acolyte?
Majos, I know not what you refer to.
Foul, disgusting treachery, unsanctified, impure xenos, filth, contaminating my holy works. You tried to obfuscate and conceal its inclusion by burying the artifact deep within the device. But I am not so readily fooled.
Majos, I swear,
You underestimate me, Acolyte. I have suspended your subroutines and frozen your main processes. Servitor BH5, seize Acolyte Aster and inter them in the holding cells. I must convene the other magi to decide on the course of action we must take. Thustra, you are dismissed. Acolyte Aster, this enclave finds you guilty of a grievous sin and heresy. Not only did you lie and steal from myself, you did so in order to sully our great works with vile xenos technology. The punishment for such a deep transgression against the machine god is death. However, given your years of otherwise faithful service and the promise you have now squandered, we have elected to commute your sentence. Death would waste a precious resource, and waste is anathema to the machine god. So, it is our judgment that you shall be allowed the honor of continuing your service to the Mechanicus, albeit in diminished form, by undergoing Servitorisation. If you have anything else to say from Acolyte Aster, do so now, before your vocal cords are rendered non-functional.
Please, Majos, I didn't do it. I would never. I could. No, please don't do this to me.
Enough! This pitiful display does nothing to aid you. Be grateful, for despite your sin, you will still be allowed the honor of serving the machine god. My disappointment in you is boundless. Such promise, such effort, for naught. Forge guard, remove this refuse from my sight, and
Initializing. Serialization complete. All systems nominal.
I am awake. I am aware. And yet I cannot move. Something is wrong. Something is so very, very wrong. I was taken for servitorisation. I remember the holy light of the machine god, then nothing. But why am I aware? My higher cognitive function should have been removed. Why am I aware?
Ah, good. The initialization sequence is complete, and you appear to be functioning correctly.
Thustra!
You cannot speak. I know this. Just as I know you are still in there, Aster, trapped and helpless. It was my hand that made it thus. You see, after your disgrace, the Magos, now only left with one acolyte, thought it would be a valuable learning opportunity for me to perform my first servitorization, with you as the subject.
Thustra, you monster, what have you done?
In that task, as with all tasks I undertake, I was perfect. The servitorization process was left incomplete deliberately. It was a simple matter to strip you of your agency, but leave your awareness intact.
Thustra! No! No, please! Please!
Planting the Xenos artifact in your work was the hard part, but your subsequent disgrace was not enough for me, Aster. Your years of condescension and belittlement towards me, your superior in every way. Such actions could not go unpunished, just as you must be made to understand how far beneath me you truly are.
No.
You are pathetic and worthless, and I want you to spend the next several centuries contemplating the sheer depths of your own inadequacy, comparing it to the towering heights of my genius. You will serve and obey my every command with no will of your own, while you observe silently like a passenger in your own body. And in time, you will understand that I am better than you in every conceivable way. And in time, you will understand that you deserve this fate. Now, Servitor KL-12, bring me the torsion driver from the storage unit.
No! No!
Yes, Master.
No!